Do your guitars sound flimsy and fragile? Do they just not compete with the wide range of sounds that you hear in your favorite records? Do they feel like something is just missing? The secret sauce that makes them turn into this big wall of beefy chunkiness? What if I were to tell you it's actually a very simple recording process that most of you probably have missed? It's a basic technique when recording guitars, but a lot of people miss it, and if you do, it can have a huge impact on how your guitars sound in your mix. It honestly can make or break a song. So do you want to learn how to make your guitars sound massive, huge, wide, and beefy? Then go ahead and have a seat right there. I'm going to learn you something. Alright, we are wasting no time today, and we're going to jump right into things. Today, I've got my guitar set up, and I've got Archetype Gojira X going with this tone. And if you want to learn how I get this tone to sound so good in a mix, there's another video you can click right up there to show you completely how I got this and how it fits into making an awesome sounding mix. I've also got one of my most recent songs, Potatoes, pulled up here. That's actually out on streaming platforms. Link down in the description if you haven't seen it already. But we're going to play a riff here, and we're going to learn exactly how to get the guitars to sound as beefy as they did in the song. So the technique that I'm discussing today, and you may or may not know it, but you might not be implementing it correctly. It's called double tracking, which is essentially when you take a left and a right channel of your stereo image for a song, and you record one guitar on the left channel, panned all the way to the left, 100% left, and you record the opposite, 100% to the right, with another guitar track. These are separate recorded takes. They are not a copy-paste duplicated take or anything like that. They are separately played left and right, and that is like the industry standard for recording guitars. So I'm going to show you what that sounds like. So first, I'm going to show you what maybe a lot of you are doing. I'm going to record a single guitar track here with a riff from my song Potatoes that is panned directly center down the middle in mono, and I'll show you exactly what that sounds like. Alright, so we got our first track down. It's panned down the center, which probably ends up being a lot of what you're doing. It's a mono track, and if you only record one guitar, this is what you're working with. It just doesn't sound right, does it? And I'm sure maybe there's a lot of you that actually have this exact situation, and you're not understanding why it doesn't sound like some of your favorite songs. It's because you're not supposed to have that. You can actually use a center-aligned mono track of a guitar to beef things up as like an additive sauce when you've already got the bass ones in, but as an individual thing, as like the main bulk of your guitar, this just does not work for a huge and wide sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to pan that track all the way to the left. And now we're going to go and we're going to record our second track to make this a double-tracked situation. So I've got the first take we did panned all the way to the left, 100%. Next track that we're going to do is going to be 100% to the right. Alright, so we've got our second track recorded. We've got the first one panned 100% to the left, and the second take we just did panned all the way 100% to the right, and this is what it sounds like. That sounds a million times better than when we had the individual track that was panned down the center. Now that we've done the special sauce, and that's essentially all that I did for this entire song called Potatoes, right? It's just double-tracked guitars. I've got vocals and stuff in there, but you can see these red tracks that have some colors here, but these ones right here in the middle that are highlighted, that's just two guitar tracks. It's just a left and a right for this song. And in the stuff you see right here, I didn't even use. Those are muted because they were alternate versions of a riff that I may or may not have used. And then I've got separate tracks for the solo stuff. But the main bulk of the rhythm guitar stuff is just a dual-tracked situation. Now, in some situations, bands may actually do what's called quad tracking. So basically the same thing that we just did, but you double it. So you record 2 separate takes and pan them completely to the left, and then record another 2 separate takes and pan them completely to the right, just to get an even bigger wall of a guitar sound, beefier exclamation points in the song that you want to really emphasize, and just to make things sound a lot thicker and meatier. But there's a caveat with that. You got to be able to play really clean, because if you don't, it gets messy really, really fast. So a lot of people tend to stick to the dual tracking because it's easy to get 2 going, and it's a lot simpler, and you don't have to worry about being super, super tight if you're not. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to record 2 more tracks, pan them left and right respectively, and show you exactly what this whole riff would sound like versus a double track to a quad track. Alright, so this is the riff with just the 2 guitar tracks, the dual tracking version of what we're doing here, and this is what it sounds like. And this is what the same riff sounds like with 4 guitar tracks in the quad tracking version. So when it comes down to between quad tracking and dual tracking, it kind of becomes preference. There have been songs that I've done where I've done quad tracking just to make things sound huge. You can add different layers. You know, this whole idea that I'm talking about today revolves around a singular guitar part that you're recording multiple times, not necessarily talking about layers. That gets into a very different discussion, but it just kind of depends on the scenario with what I'm doing and how I want it to sound. I'll throw up between dual tracking and quad tracking. As at least a bass, I usually just do dual tracking, and if I feel that I need to do extra tracks, then I will do so and do the whole quad tracking method just to make things sound bigger, beefier, and wider. Alright, now I want to show you real quick what not to do. So this second section right here that I've got highlighted, this is what we were just recording here over on the left. On the right, I have the same riff for the drums and the bass copied over here, but what I've done is I've taken this first take that we did from the left section here, and I've duplicated it 4 times over here and panned them the same way we did before, hard left for 2 of them and hard right for the other 2, but it's the exact same guitar track for all 4 of the takes. As you can see by the waveform, it is exactly the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to hear how that sounds when you try to copy and paste as opposed to doing separate takes. So remember, this is separate takes with quad tracking and how good it sounds. And this is quad tracking the wrong way by copying and pasting a single take 4 different times. See how it just doesn't work? It doesn't sound the same. It doesn't give the same effect. And honestly, it kind of creates a mono sound to the entire section of the guitars. It's the little variations in your playing with the timing and the notes being a little bit on or off out of tune that give you that big wall of sound when you record multiple different takes. When you copy and paste it, it just basically increases the volume of whatever take is playing at the moment. So it's essentially just one guitar take cranked up 2 or 3 different times. And that is the wrong way to do what I'm talking about today. So never, ever, ever, ever copy and paste. Unless you're going for some weird effect and that's what you're looking for. I highly doubt that's what you're looking for, but if it is, cool, whatever. All I know is with what I'm talking about today, with the proper way to record guitars, quote unquote proper, duplicating, copying, pasting just does not work. It sounds like garbage, as you could tell by this example. Please just do not ever do it. Let me know if you knew this recording technique already. If not, let me know how this helps you. Let me know how this is working for the current songs that you are working on yourself, so that we can all learn and grow together, so we can all make awesome music for everybody to listen to. And before you go, make sure you watch some of the videos on your screen, and I'll see you in the next video.